If you're looking for a podcast that packs in sound property advice, as well as offering you an insight into making the world of property effective and ultimately work for you, you're in the right place. Hosted by Arsh Ellahi, the original property rebel. He's written an Amazon bestseller, created the Property Investor app, the UK's first, and is an experienced property mentor. More importantly, he talks the talk and walks the walk.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Property Rebel with your host Arsh Ellahi. And in today's session, we're going to have a bit of a rant, I don't mind saying that. And that's what the Property Rebel's all about, telling you the good and the bad of the property industry. Now, before we do that, I want to remind you that this podcast is sponsored by the Property Investor app, which is the UK's first property investment platform. We showcase all kinds of deals all over the UK, whether it's a below market value deal, a rent-to-rent deal, a lease option deal, we've got them all there. Now, there are actually three ways to get involved. You can either go to a website, which is propertyinvestораpp.co.uk. You can, if you've got a smartphone, go to the App Store, type in Property Investor, download it from there. And I know you've all got WhatsApp. Don't lie to me. I know you've got it. All you got to do is go into your WhatsApp, join the communities and search for Property Investor app, and you'll see our properties that we upload daily in WhatsApp. How cool is that? Now it's rant time, I don't mind saying. Last week, I've been involved in property 25 years, and I can probably count on one hand the weeks that I probably wish I was never involved in property. And last week was one of them. So I get a call. So I'm not going to name the borough because just in case they're watching, and you may be watching, and if you are, I really hope that the person involved will no longer be working. And I say that in the nicest possible way, but she really made it very difficult for me last week. So anyway, we had an inspection on a building going back in, I think it was June earlier this year. And fire officer came down, the HMO team came down just to do a regular inspection. Now, they picked up on a few things that needed doing. There's a few doors that weren't really shutting clearly into the case and just little bits and pieces, but we got the work done. Now, anyway, we had a second inspection this week just gone, and the lady was running around like an absolute mayhem, causing absolute chaos. We asked all the tenants, in the building, all the people that were in the building, just to remain calm. And if there's any issues, you come and ask us, etc. And this woman from the housing team was telling everyone to leave the building, get out this building's not safe. I think, what the hell is going on? I said, the building is safe. She goes, oh, this building's about to explode. I'm not exaggerating. She goes, you've got a water tank here, that's not safe. It's gonna explode. Get out the building for your own safety. I go, whoa. Okay, and then she did something really strange things, this housing officer, I'm following it up with a formal complaint because this is how bad it got. She was telling all of my residents to get out, leave now. Here's a number for the emergency housing team. Go and find yourself somewhere else. Now, you've got to bear in mind that I've got 17 people in this property right now. All these people are quite scared because the council official is telling them to leave and this building's not safe. Now, on the other hand, I've got the fire officer who's not really saying anything. And to be fair, nice guy, really cool guy. And she goes, I'll talk to you about it after. So this lady is running around left, right and centre, doing this, that and the other, getting all of our tenants really upset and agitated. On top of that, she goes, oh, this building's about to explode. This water tank's not safe. She then goes and finds a plumber and an electrician to come and disconnect my water tank. The water tank, which was working perfectly fine, which I've had confirmed by another plumber. And so she came, she bought a plumber, she goes, I need access to the tank now, otherwise I'm going to get a locksmith and come and enter, force entry. Again, very strange behaviour from a housing enforcement officer. Then she came and she gave everyone an enforcement notice to saying, this building is being shut down. And I spoke to her on the phone, I said, exactly what are you doing? I said, you do know this protocol. There's things that need to be done. You can't just slap an enforcement order. You've got to give me the opportunity. You've got to tell me what's wrong first and foremost. All she's told me is that this building's unsafe. Tell me what's unsafe about it. Let me have a look at what needs to be done. Oh no, everything's a category 1, has to be shut down. So this woman is acting completely irrational. So she's not told me what's wrong. She's put an enforcement order. She's told all my residents to leave. Luckily, my residents called me and said, Arsh, what's going on? And I said to the guys, calm down. I said, you stay where you are. I will deal with it. Even if she does give me enforcement notice, I've got 28 days to appeal. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. But anyway, so she gives me the enforcement notice, starts going around knocking on all the doors with a letter saying, here's your notice, leave, leave, leave. Thinking this woman really is not stable, especially to be working in a local authority and doing things that are not out and not protocol. So she's forcing herself into the building. I don't know how she's getting into the building. So she's left, she's come back, she gave everyone a letter. This was approximately, let's say, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, and this was on we did the inspection on Thursday. She then came back on the Friday, gave everyone notice, started slapping notice on all the doors. Very, very strange. Now, what's even more strange is that she then comes back approximately 7 o'clock on a Friday evening. Now, how many housing officers do you know that will come back at 7 o'clock on a Friday, knocking on doors? Why have you not left yet? Why have you not left yet? Why have you not left yet? And then she emails me 8 o'clock with another notice to revoke the notice that she gave me earlier that day. What the hell is going on? So I've had a whole day where she's came along, she's caused absolute chaos, scared all my residents to death, disconnected the tank, which is providing them with hot water. Now, I got statements from all of my residents to say they had hot water before she arrived. Now, she has taken that, let's call it, privilege away from my tenants or my residents. So she's now left them without hot water. And she's using this as one of the grounds. She goes that you will not be having hot water for the foreseeable future. That's exactly what she said to one of her residents. Absolutely insane. So anyway, I get a plumber on Saturday morning, come and inspect the tank because we've got, I think it's a 250 litre unvented hot water tank which serves the building. And he goes, Arsh, don't know what's wrong. This tank is working fine. And I asked the lady, what was wrong with it? She goes, we saw a bit of smoke coming out of it. I said, no, that's steam. It's a hot water tank. Occasionally it may let off steam, but there are preventative measures within the tank, safety features, which if something happens, it will shut down the tank automatically. Does she know this? No, she doesn't, because she's not a qualified plumber. So I've got my plumber to write me a letter saying the tank is fine. And she also, so I've got to ask some questions. To work on these tanks, you've got to be certified. So I've got to ask who came and disconnected it. Are they certified? The electrician that came and cut all the wires to the tank. Why did they do that? So I've got to ask, have you got a certification for cutting all the wires? Or who was the electrician? Let's have a look at their qualifications. More importantly, who gave you the authority to disconnect a fully functional working appliance within a property? So anyway, so the notice got revoked on Friday night at 8 o'clock. Very strange. Saturday, tank got reinstated. Saturday and Sunday, fine, no issues. Guess what happens Monday morning? She rocks up again. I get an email from her, should I say, saying, oh, here's your new notice. I look at the old notice, look at new notice, no difference. Why did she revoke that one on Friday? And then on top of that, she's sitting in the car park. And my residents tell me that this lady sat in the car park waiting for someone to come out so she can barge through the front door. I just told my residents, keep that door shut. She's not allowed in the building. She's got no warrant. She's got no reason to be in the building. And she's shouting from the car park to my residents, why have you not left yet? Why have you not left? Absolutely absurd. This woman needs to go. And I'll make sure that she goes. I spoke to a fire officer on Monday, just calmly. I said, hi, how you doing? I understand that you went there on Thursday. How'd you get on? He goes, she goes, you got a few things to do. He goes, we need to deal with a few issues down in the basement, compartmentation, I think that was the word that he used. He goes, I can see that we've got a few gaps. And he goes, my concern is that if you have a fire, it's going to go through the gaps and it's going to cause an issue upstairs on the ground floor. I said, I completely get that. I said, you know what, if there's an issue, I'm happy to work with you. Let's get it dealt with. He goes, he goes, great news. He goes, I'm glad we spoke. He goes, I need some documentation. I said, but I sent the documentation to you back in June. He goes, I've not seen it. I said, I sent it to you. I sent it to one of your colleagues. He goes, okay, fine. He goes, no issue. He goes, I'm assuming we've got it on file. I've not seen it. Doesn't mean to say that you've not sent it. So I followed up with an email saying, hi, great to speak to you. And what we did, I said, the reason why some of the bits may not be done is because in the notice, it wasn't very clear what you wanted me to do. Now, let me give you an example. If my wife says to me, go and do the food shop, I will come back with packets of crisps, biscuits, chocolates, and some other goodies, because to me, that's what I like shopping. And if my wife goes, if she gave me a shopping list and says, I need some tomato, I need some apples, I need some coriander, I need whatever it may be, I will know exactly what I need to get. Now, in the previous report, they never told me exactly what needed doing. They just said the building has damp. No, it doesn't. There's a few odd stains where we had a previous water leak. And she goes, oh no, the whole building's damp. I said, no, it's not. I said, tell me where you say these things are. Oh, she goes, you got electrical fittings hanging off the ceiling. I said, in what apartment? We've got 17 apartments. Tell me where it is. Don't just say it's in the building. Tell me where it is. Pinpoint it. If you've done your job so well and you've been round and made a note of every single thing, tell me, is it apartment 2? Is it apartment 3? Is it in the kitchen? Is it in the living room? Tell me where it is. And she couldn't do that. So her notice, as far as I'm concerned, is null and void, because if I take this to court, which I will, I'm going to make sure that we get compensation for this, because again, the amount of distress that she caused me and also the other residents was unheard of. Woof. So guys, it's been a week. Well, when I say it's been a week, Thursday and Friday was stressful. I had all these residents call me, and my caretaker called me saying, Arsh, we're going to shut the building down. What's going to happen? Where we're going to go? How am I going to find accommodation? So, you know what, guys, we got to the end of it. And I'm seeing the lights at the end of the tunnel. But I'm just telling you that, property sometimes cannot be easy. It can be stressful. It's a day that I'll remember. 100% it'll be a day that I'll remember. And we'll keep moving forward with it. But, thinking about it, I had to take some time out and think about it. I kept thinking, part of me think, you know what, let's just get rid of the building. And then part of me thought, you know what, no, it's treated us well. It's generating an income of over £250,000. I'm not letting this council nobody, bully me. And that's what it felt like, bullying. So guys, there will be tough days, there will be tough times, but you've got to step back sometimes and think about it. Not think about it over the weekend. I try not to think about it on Saturday and Sunday. Come back to it with a fresh pair of eyes on the Monday, and we move forward. I felt like that we've made real progress on the Monday. So guys, really hope that you've enjoyed this rant, and it was a rant, but we move forward. So guys, on that note, really hope that you've enjoyed it. Don't forget, podcast is sponsored by the Property Investor app, available on the App Store by searching Property Investor. You can go to the website, propertyinvestораpp.co.uk. I know you've got WhatsApp. Don't lie to me. People have been lying to me all last week. Don't you do that. Go to WhatsApp, look at the communities, search for Property Investor app, download it from there. Now, we're putting up a load more content on my socials. We've got Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all under the handle of Arsh Ellahi. Come on, follow me. Let's have a chat. And then finally, go and check out my YouTube channel under the handle of Arsh Ellahi. Very simple. Don't forget to like and subscribe. So on that note, let's get moving forward, guys. Really hope that you've enjoyed it, and we keep moving. And I'll speak to you all soon. Thank you and bye-bye.
The large majority of people make a positive change if they take immediate action. So act now. Download the Property Investor app and join Arsh on his social media channels to excel your property journey.